question number 2, and there's a streetcar passing, and now it's gone. Okay. So yeah, we were talking earlier about how people probably come to this piece as a dance piece, but you were saying that you think it's more than that. It's a performance art piece. It's an installation in progress, and I was wondering if you could sort of just describe why you conceive of it that way.
Yeah, there's something about it to me that just seems more performance art based. Although I would say, yeah, it is a dance piece, but I'd say it's a dance piece as much as it's a theater piece. But it is performance art. During the course of the performance, the dancers create an installation and change the sort of world around them, and there's something that happens in the front window that's very much an installation piece. So the environment, the way we've taken it over and sort of made it into our space, it just seems to sort of, I don't want to say transcend because that's putting one thing above the other, but it's just a bit grown out of dance into something else. So I would say it's more performance art. Some of the duration of it, some of the time things take to develop, I would see more as performance art than, say, pure dance or pure theater. The choreography, I think, is really important in the piece, as is the sound and the lights, but I think it's everything together that makes it what it is, as opposed to just like, these are just interesting choreography. Like, it's how the dancers inhabit the choreography and the meaning and the depth behind it. I don't know, it sounds like a hard thing to explain. But yeah, it's performance art to me. It's challenging, it pushes things, it's got elements that are that you wouldn't see necessarily in a straight dance show, and it's because of the dancing, it's not necessarily theater, so it's performance art, I guess. This is the way I look at it.
Yeah, and we were talking also about how there's no real set designer, but the set is such a key element to the piece, and so I guess part of the reason is that it was conceived so as an integral part of the whole sort of work as itself, right? So
yeah, and again, like I said, I'm a little bit outside of the choices made aesthetically. Like I do feel a lot of it probably sprung from Allison and filtered through Gabe as an artist. Gabe, and he's created all the sculptures out of the coat hanger, and so, but even, we've had input on sort of where things go. There's a bit of input from all of us, but I do think the initial aesthetic is very much Allison, if that makes sense.
But the aesthetic includes you as a sound designer as well, does it not? I mean, everything seems to be working together, all together.
Yeah, I mean, I think to have me and Gabe there it was definitely, to be visible to the audience was definitely an intentional thing, and I don't know, again, I can't speak for Allison, but I don't know if it's anything deeper than just wanting us there, because it's interesting to see what we're doing as part of the artists working on it, and I know she's been very clear that we are artists creating it with her. Like we talked about sort of credits on the flyer, for instance, and it just lists our name as artists. So I know it's something she feels is important, as opposed to delineate, you do this, you do that. We're all artists that have worked together to create this performance piece, as opposed to like sound designer. It's just a less compartmentalized way, I think, of looking at the creation of art.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if I wanted to weigh in heavier than I had with the aesthetics of the show, I could throw my ideas to the table, and I know, they would be welcomed, so it's my collective, but it's not done by committee. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a group thing. We all kind of, Allison has the final say, but I think we can all put in ideas.
Yeah, and the four of you are there living it basically every performance as well.
Yeah, like I think that's part of the key of it, right? Like I know, like, say 68%, 70% of what I do is set, but there's so much that is sort of improvised, that's flowing out of what the dancers are doing or what the lights are doing, and then we can react to each other. So it's like, I know, to me, being also an actor, I feel sometimes just as drained doing this show as a sound performer as I would have had I been performing as an actor. It's the focus to me is incredibly tight. So
you all have to listen to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.